I don't think my child is motivated or doing well, even though his counselors all think my child is just fine. Don't worry.
I heard that many times. Sometimes it was accurate. Sometimes I was overreacting. Sometimes I was in fear. Sometimes my gut knew my kid was not all right. Now, granted, this was before he was officially dual diagnosed, and the extent of that diagnosis was, in all honesty, at that time, above and beyond what Cornerstone in of itself was ready to deal with. I think Ryan kind of set a benchmark on what was yet to come in that area. So what I loved and appreciated was that Kirk listened to my gut, and my son spent many months and even years throughout his recovery in mental health and areas and things away from Cornerstone that helped him to get mentally stable. Then we bring him back for the recovery part. It was really difficult to know where he ever really was, which side you treated first. If he couldn't stay sober, his depression, his suicidal tendencies, his psychosis was always going to get worse. And that still holds the case. So trust your gut. Find a therapist, a psychologist, and someone in the mental health that you really trust. There's a lot of bad ones. Sorry, there just are. Find someone good that is a good fit for your family. And that relationship should primarily be between your child and them. And you shouldn't be in there triangulating and messing with their program, but you should always have a pulse. And I just truly think that as a parent, we know, even now, I know, and I'm not even in the same state, but it is very important, and it's a really, really good question, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with mental illness. It can just have to be with, you think that they're using on the side. You're seeing things at home that don't coincide with what's happening, and it is possible that in the peer group in of itself, they're being overlooked. Maybe they're not in second stage, maybe they're not in outpatient, and maybe you feel like they're not getting that intense attention. It does happen. And that was usually in Cornerstone when I could see my son, he was good enough to step away, not gather and garnish too much attention. He was excellent at having his one-on-ones with therapists and pulling the wool over their eyes. And, you know, you got to trust yourself and trust your counselor.
Sarah, do you got anything?
No.
Mark?
No.
I would just add that that I agree with a lot of what Brenda said, that you got to find the right therapist that's a fit for your family. But a lot of this, you guys, you know, the right therapist or counselor or program is going to tell you what you don't want to hear. Okay, like let me just be clear about it. The right therapist in this world isn't the one that where you walk out of there and you go, oh man, this is so good. You know, where when you're walking out of there, you go, this sucks, this is hard, this is scary. Okay, that's you know, this is tough. You know, to make changes in your family takes a lot of courage, a lot of guts. All right, and you need courage and guts to do things that are scary, to have boundaries, to work on your codependency, to learn to say no. So if you're seeing a therapist that is kind of superficial or taking the placating route, that might make you feel good. It's like a sugar rush. It'll make you feel good for a second, but nothing is going to get solved. Okay, so good question.